Hey everybody, and welcome back to Super Comic Fun Time. It is Tuesday, September 18th, 2019, and it has been a very busy summer on my end. I believe the last video I made was when I was on vacation during the 4th of July week, and that was having to do with reading Cosmic Odyssey, which I only got one issue down, one and a half, and I have not had much time to read since then, but I've still made it out to my local half-price books several times, so I've got a whole slew of treasures. You can see some of them here. So we might be in for a little bit of a long video, and let's get started right away. The first things I found that I was excited about is I found this is Ray Bradbury, Frost and Fire. I guess in the 80s, DC Comics had a science fiction graphic novel imprint. They also, so yeah, I had no idea. Like, I've been collecting the Marvel graphic novels for a little while. So here we have the man himself, the great sci-fi writer, Ray Bradbury. Probably my favorite novel. Maybe, well, it's Something Wicked This Way Comes, which they made into a movie. I have mixed feelings on the movie. I think overall the movie is faithful to the book to an extent, and I think it's a pretty entertaining movie. But it's also a little Disney-esque, like pre-90s Disney. I believe that movie came out in 86 or 87. Maybe it came out even earlier. Yeah, because I read the book in high school, and I think the book came out before I went into the Army. Hard to remember. So let's take it was adopted by Claus Jansen, and I don't think I can get the whole book in there with my cheap setup. So you'll just have to take my word. So this is a little bit, I kind of like that. I haven't read this book, but the artwork looks pretty good. This looks pretty cool there. Look at that page. Wow. So yeah, I look forward to reading this once I get a little bit of leisure time left. And the next thing I found was The Hunger Dogs by Jack Kirby. This was exciting to me, even though I have that big omnibus with the misprinted pages. This is like real history. The artwork, it looks more like a painting. It's sort of like the the cover looks more like a painting. I'm not sure about the inside, but look at that. Look at Dark Side. That's kind of an awesome shot of him. So again, I haven't had time to read this one. I mean, look at that. For a minute, I thought that's the Human Torch, but it's obviously not the Human Torch. So yeah, like I say, even though I've already got this one in the omnibus, I haven't read that far in yet, but the artwork looks fantastic on this. I'm not really sure how this story was received when it came out. I think this was supposed to be the ending of his saga, because of course the New Gods was canceled before he was able to finish it. Then here, let's see what I've got here. Okay, so one day I just wasn't sure what I wanted, and I found some old comic books. So this is just Jimmy Olsen. It just looked really cool. Hippie Olsen's Hayden. I loved it. How could I not get this? This is Superman is a freak out. We hate money. We hate Superman. And look, it was only 12 cents. So that is pretty awesome. I don't even know when this is from. I don't feel like taking it out of its mylar right now, but that is just, I love, it's like they had several older issues there, and I just picked the one with the cover that I like best, and I really like that one. This almost reminds me of the jacket, except it's not black, that Patrick McGoohan wears in The Prisoner. Then Mr. Miracle, I guess I would have to say I'm a pretty big fan of Mr. Miracle. I never read him when I was a kid. I like that. Look how Darkseid's face is showing there. So, of course, I picked up one of these when I was able to find it. And then at the same trip, I also got an Avengers. I just like this, the new team. It just looked pretty awesome. And I guess it's also issue 300. So when I was a kid, I would think issue 300 would be worth $1 million someday. But it's only around $2. So Gilgamesh, the Forgotten One. Steve Rogers, the Captain, Invisible Woman, Fantastic Four. So yeah, it's a 64-page spectacular. And I'm not sure what's here behind the price tag. But yeah, it looks good. Not sure what year it came out. Probably early 90s. And then this is, I was really excited for this. I haven't opened it up yet. I'm going to open it up now. But look, it's these little digest-sized comics. And I go, I never heard of this. So you got the new Teen Titans, and let's go ahead and open this one up and take a look at some of these. So here you have, on the back was the Daily Planet, presents 10 front page stories starring Superman. So, you know, it's kind of faded now, but I don't know. I didn't know about these, and when I found them, I thought they were really cool. Oh, does this have anything on the back? So here you have Clark Kent exposed as the Man of Steel. So isn't this cool? This is just like the coolest, one of the coolest things I've ever found at Half Price Books. And it was only $5 for all of these. So like, I'm not sure if I got a good price for the Hunger Dogs and the Ray Bradbury book, but I felt pretty good about this one, that this was probably worth $5 for all of these. Legion of the Superheroes. And does this have anything on the back? So that's the back of that one. I think these two have like more interesting backs, the Superman ones, the map of Krypton, and then the Daily Planet. I feel like I'm going too fast, so I'm going to take a breath and slow down a little bit. And so here, this one we just got that it's more or less a table of contents of what's inside. The Legion Suicide Squad from Nave to Krypton. So yeah, this looks pretty cool. I don't know. Look at that. Like, oh, it looks even better in the camera. So hopefully that looks good for you guys. Here it looks a little faded when I'm looking right on it, but that's still kind of a cool shot. And then, of course, the one at the top was the new Teen Titans featuring a new 10-page adventure. So this one, it's just got the Titans, like the thing that they're building is made out of. It's kind of a T, which I always thought was, I always wondered, like, I didn't really know too much about him growing up, but whenever I see the T, even now, I wonder how these don't just fall off. I don't know what's supporting the structure. But, so yeah, this again is just basically the table of contents for what's inside. So that is like one of the favorite things I've ever found at Half Price Books. And then, here we go. Oh, this is just another graphic novel from Marvel. So again, I don't know if the price is good, but I'm collecting these, so it was pretty cool. Like the artwork on the cover. I don't know if I've heard this one covered on back issues or anything yet. So I've got my cord flip-flopping in because that's still the best microphone, but look at that artwork. That's pretty good. I can't wait to read this one. Looks pretty awesome. Pretty good. I've been watching a lot of Larry David lately. Pretty good. Oh, and there's Spider-Man down there. That's a really nice pose. I might try copying that later. I haven't drawn in a while either. I missed that. So now here we have like creme de la creme coming up. Now this one, you know, I'm not sure if I should have got this one. They had some other choices, but I love Howard the Duck, and I love this cover, and I love Marvel Treasury editions, so I got this one. I think I got this one on Labor Day, and there was a 10% off sale, so I didn't get soaked too bad if I didn't pay a good price. So let's take a quick look at this one, see what kind of condition it is inside the Mylar. Oh, I've already given away. I've blown the epic surprise. So yeah, this is one we're going to look at too in a second. So yeah, Howard the Duck is always like this interesting character to me. Steve Gerber. I might have known how to pronounce his name at one time. So this book is a little bit fragile, but it's still nice to have one of these nice big ones. I almost bought one of the Trump parodies that came out in the wake of the president's election, just because it was kind of a tribute to this. But in the end, I just couldn't see spending money on something if I didn't know I was going to like it. Like, I did buy some political comics from Antarctic Press, and the first one, it just wasn't a good story, so I didn't enjoy it, and I was regretting buying it, and I didn't read anything else from that. But I love this artwork from the 70s. My favorite comic book was The Master of Quack Fu. So yeah, Howard the Duck is an all-time classic. I mean, the old Howard. I like this Howard. I don't like the new redesign. I'm not really a big fan of. And then this one, how could I not get this one? This one, I already had it. I already read it. I have this book, which I got several years ago. And this is a great book. It's volume 1 of Marvel Crossover Classics. And of course, it has the all-time great, which is Superman versus Spider-Man. But all of the stories in here were pretty good. Pretty good. So like, even like, I think my favorite in here might be the last one, which was the X-Men and the Teen Titans. And that was a really, really good story. Because as a kid, I couldn't get into the Teen Titans at all. But reading this story was great. So anyways, let's go ahead and see how fragile this is. And again, luckily, I got like a 10% discount, which I'm very happy for. So look, it was only $2.50 in the day. But look at this. I mean, I just cannot imagine seeing this there and not getting it, because this was a pretty good story too. Like, the Joker's the main bad guy. And it's just such a ridiculous story, but it's so much fun. And so this looks like it's in a little bit better condition than Howard the Duck. And, you know, the essential story is that the Joker tricks the Hulk into, you know, he makes the Hulk think Batman is the bad guy. And so you get some classic Hulkisms in here, like he gets tricked once, but then he's smart enough not to get tricked again. And stuff like that. It's been a while since I read it, but here we go. So like right there. I mean, just look at that guy, will you? Dark, spooky, with long pointy ears and a big cape. And honestly, is that a face even a mother could love? Just think about it, big fella, and it becomes obvious. If anyone around here is your enemy, Hulk, it's him. So I think that's like, I kind of like, I mean, we all get tricked all the time, especially when we're kind of innocent. The Hulk is a very powerful innocent, especially back in these days. This is like, what, 1979 or something like that? Oh, 1981. So yeah, I don't know. I am very happy with this. This and the Teen Titans books are some of my favorites from my recent excursions to half-price books. So have you gotten anything really cool lately? Let me know down below in the comments. And I'm going to draw this to a close here. And remember to subscribe, like, share. And this is Super Comic Fun Time out. Hopefully I'll be back sooner. Bye.